We're here on behalf of the Governor Dick Park Board, and we again thank you for your support and guidance at the park. As you know, Chuck and I are two of the 6 board members you appoint to the nonprofit board of the park that operates the park for you. We're here today to ask you to approve an application to Pennsylvania DCNR for a Parks and Recreation grant in the approximate amount of $171,000. It's a 50% grant that would help us build a ADA accessible boardwalk adjacent to the environmental center at the park. I think we may have talked about this briefly when you met at the park last summer. Since then, we've engaged Mark Wilson Engineering to design the facility. He's the same person that does a lot of the rail trail work. And the application for the state is due next week. We got a good reception from DCNR, but you never know until you go in because all grants are competitive. You don't know who the competition is till the deadline. Typically, the state applications are due next week. They would announce winners late this year. If we're successful, commissioners will get a grant contract early next year. We could then do design for bidding, bid it in the summertime of 18, and probably build it late next year. Just going to give you a brief outline of the walkway.
I think that you have, first off, in the resolution, I think you have a copy of that resolution.
We sent it to Jamie.
The form from DCNR.
I don't know that.
Jamie, okay, so maybe you better take this.
Okay.
This is the last link, finally. Chuck Allwine from on the board of Governor Dick Clarence Shock Memorial Park. I'm the point man on the mountain, sorta, and I'm the point man on this particular project, which is a huge project for us, and we're very excited about it. The bottom line is that we have an awful lot going on in those 1,100 acres, but one thing that we absolutely do not have is we do not have anything for folks that are physically challenged. Being on the mountain, everything's uphill or downhill and lots of rocks. And we just feel that we want to have something for folks that have a rough time walking, or perhaps even are in wheelchairs or what have you. So we have been working on this for some time, and I've talked to you folks about it from time to time. Basically, what we're doing is we're from our parking lot, this is the environmental center, we're coming in with a ADA accessible boardwalk, or excuse me, walkway down to the beginning of the boardwalk, so that we have handicap parking in the main parking lot, and also we're adding some handicap parking adjacent to the boardwalk. The concrete walkway is approximately 200 feet, and the boardwalk, which goes into the mountain at this point, is approximately 500 feet. And this is a very bouldery area, and we're going across the top of these rocks. We're trying not to disturb the topography at all. Anyhow, there are 2 viewing platforms, and both of them are over an area that has a considerable drop. You can see the contour lines here. And this particular one is, I think that maybe I've got these switched, but I don't think so. This particular platform is 12 feet off the ground. So if you sort of imagine yourself being on a ladder 12 feet off the ground and then a considerable topography elevation change here, you're in a sense in the trees. The second one, just due to, again, the way the land falls, is 4 feet off the ground, and we have the same sort of situation. And down below this, there are trails. As we talked about before, on Governor Dick, there are 15 miles of trails, and you folks experienced some of them. But anyhow, we feel that the folks that will take advantage of this will be able to sort of vicariously put themselves into the shoes of the hikers and the bikers and what have you, and it'd be kind of neat. The second thing, which our forester pointed out to me, and I, being a biologist, I realized it, but I didn't put it all together. When you're up, elevated, there are different levels of wildlife, birds, insects, what have you, so that when these folks are up on the boardwalk and looking down, they will see things that you won't see from the ground, which I think is, I'm anxious to see that. I think that's kind of interesting. Nevertheless, the second thing that I want to point out is something that when we met with you before, when you were out with us last fall, we added, on our bucket list for the park, we always realized that we never had enough restroom facilities. And of course, the center is not open all the time, so the park is open from dusk to, or dawn to dusk, and it's used from dawn to dusk. So we added to this project, and it's not on here, but it's right there, right adjacent to the environmental center. We added a composting restroom facility, and we met with DCNR and talked to them about that, and they thought it was a wonderful idea. So it became part of this overall project. Again, we're in the very last throes. In fact, the application has to be in next week. It's completed. Mark Wilson, our engineer, has it completed with the exception of the resolution. And we would, of course, ask you to approve that resolution so that we can have DCNR act on this. $171,000 in some of the things that you folks do certainly isn't a lot of money, but it's a lot of money to us.
That's a lot of money.
And we do have the second, the match. We have that, which I think is neat. Oh, one other thing, some of the match is coming from our treasury for the moment, but we have plans on this walkway right here. We are going to put memorial bricks, not across the whole walkway, but just on the edge, on both sides. And we expect that we will be able to, when we sell them all, which could be a long time from now, that the net, or the growth, no, the net income will be about $100,000. It doesn't seem very long, but it is rather long, and on both sides. It's going to be very nice for people that love the park to be able to do that. So that's the story, and what we need would be approval for that resolution.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for Governor Dick for the walkway.
I'll second the motion, and also thank you for your passion and dedication to this project. It's truly inspirational.
Thank you. I have one other thing.
Wait, just,
They have to
I'm sorry.
we have to, any questions regarding the motion?
Yeah, just to be clear, What's the total length of the path, including concrete and boardwalk?
700.
700, and you probably mentioned this, but I missed it, but the boardwalk itself is how long?
5.
5, okay. And the DCNR grant and the match, you feel that will be enough to cover the project?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
The commissioners gave us $25,000 last year from Marcellus for the preliminary design, because the preliminary design cannot be matched with the grant. So that's where we got the money to do this application and prepare all this work. And then we have
75.
we have $105,000 from what was the Shock Foundation that they've given us for this project as well.
Super. Anything else?
Okay.
If not, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
And Chuck has one other
I
question.
have one other item. Since I was coming to see you this morning, you folks wear a couple different hats. For us, of course, you're our trustees, but you're also the keeper of the Marcellus grants. And the 2015 grant that you awarded to us was specifically for the rewriting of our master plan, which is called the stewardship plan, or as DCNR calls it, the CAP 106 Forest Management Plan. This is really our guideline for what we do, and it's a 10-year plan. We have already, this is the second one, we have already gone through the first 10 years, and we did a pretty good job of adhering to it. Of course, and like any 10-year plan, you go to the left or the right a little bit. Nevertheless, first off, we received the plan. It has been approved by Harrisburg, and it's a done deal. Our contract forester, Barry Rose, who is trades under Forest Regeneration Services. He used to live locally. Now he lives up in Goldsboro. And you met him.
We did.
Nevertheless, he did the first one, and now he did the second one. We're very fortunate that we have this professional person that is sticking with us, and of course, we're sticking with him because we're very satisfied with him, but he knows the mountain probably better than anybody, because he's been over every square inch of it many times. Nevertheless, you awarded us $7,500 to work to produce this plan, and we also received a grant from the Federal Department of Agriculture under their EQIP program for the remainder of it. For your file, I have a copy of the plan, and I also have a letter here that finalizes the 2015 Marcellus grant. So that we put to bed. I've already met with the Planning Commission, Julie, and the whole thing is a done deal.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
If, I know you have lots of time in your hands, someday just flip through this. It's super, and it's online too.
It is on your website?
The draft
It
is on the website, the final plan isn't as yet because they haven't loaded it.
Yeah.
What is your website address?
GovernorDick.com.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you also.
It's so much and so graphic that they had a hard time getting it on the website, and they have it in chunks, but anyhow.
Thank you. And also thank you again for your stewardship out there. That's a wonderful asset for the county. You guys do a super job with it. Also, I understand you're willing to re-up,
Yes.
right? Should we?
Harry
do that
Deal
now?
and I think, are the two that are up this year.
Yes, I'll seek a motion to accept Harry Deal and Ray Bender as re-upping their sportsmanship.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We're very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.